Welcome back to Chicago Independent Television, and now part 3 of our interview with Jerry Boyle.
Civil rights cases, those aren't worth much either. You wouldn't believe how difficult it is to bring a police misconduct case. I can't go into all of the details on that. It doesn't mean that you can't sue a police officer for violating your constitutional rights. You can. All right, but the grief, effort, and expense involved and the uncertainty of result makes it such that, for instance, and again, that credibility advantage that the police have, they'll just lie and the juries will believe them. Juries tend to give police officers the benefit of the doubt, and the courts, the judges, definitely do. The law gives police officers in civil rights cases all kinds of special privileges and immunities that nobody else gets. My standards are pretty high for taking civil rights cases, all right? You know, I have to make a living, okay? And most of us do. And we can't take cases where we're gonna put more work into it than we're ever gonna get paid for. My rule of thumb is I won't take a civil rights case against a police officer unless I have broken bones or a dead body. Because the grief and difficulty involved in prosecuting cases like that is such that, and the uncertainty is such that you can just kill yourself prosecuting relatively minor constitutional violations. If your commitment to your constitutional rights is so strict and inflexible that you refuse to make any effort to manipulate the police officer's discretion, it's a common thing. You know, the police arrive on the scene, you ignore them and pretend like they're not there. That makes them escalate to verbal direction. Stop that, go there, do this. And if you don't comply with that verbal direction, they're going to escalate to physical control, to empty hand control. Typically, empty hand control starts with the hand on the upper arm. And the hand on the upper arm is a good start because it's a limited use of force. It does, in terms of the kinetics of human movement, it's a good way to get control over somebody without provoking too much of a response. I mean, you really shouldn't just tackle somebody, although some police officers do that, all right? They put their hand on you, okay, and I talked before about sub-levels, okay, within. There's a lot of sub-levels on the empty hand control. It's a natural human response when somebody grabs your arm to pull away, okay? Well, if you pull away, it's going to get worse. All right, it's going to get worse. I mean, I've got a case involving an activist now who, you know, they put the hand on the arm, he pulled away. And 2 minutes later, he had 18 law enforcement officers on him, and he died of restraint hypoxia. And, I mean, people should recognize the risks they're taking when they confront a police officer. That activist did not expect to die that day. He did not expect to die that day. And the more you resist, the more they escalate. Okay. For instance, passive resistors know that. All right, people who engage in passive civil resistance, all right, they're trained, that they know they're going somewhere, they're going to do something that is going to get them arrested, all right? So they are taught to go limp, okay? Because they know if they do anything other than limp, the police will escalate, all right? And in some cases, the police are happy to accommodate you if you resist them. The more you resist, I mean, a lot of times, especially if a police officer has a political agenda that disagrees with yours, he's looking for an excuse to hit you. And if you pull away from him, he's got it. So, I mean, you have a choice when you're confronted with a police officer. You can choose to provoke escalation on his part, all right, or you can choose to de-escalate and diffuse the situation.
I'm Alejandro Molina, and you're watching Chicago Independent Television.
I see the soul of a nation, must be true 'cause I've seen it on TV.
Chicago Independent Television is not brought to you by Walmart. There's a reason we're the world's most profitable corporation. We pay our employees peanuts. Learn more at walmartwatch.com. Walmart. Always low wages, always.